Religion is not dharma, but the essence of the religion is dharma. Now, any activity I do, there is a dharma behind it. So when you keep on doing the right thing, then you will know, and you will get a conflict. Professional ethics against humanity. Then you will get into that Vedic dharma. What it says. Anything that helps in the further evolution.
Right.
Or in the right path of this universe and the cosmos, taking it to the higher level of consciousness in the evolution, that needs to be supported. These are the things we know, but somehow we put it under the carpet.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't know. So the reason most of us we try to avoid these things is, if I know that, then I like to follow.
Namaste everybody. Welcome to another special episode on understanding Vedic philosophy, where Dr. Nagendra sir, a Vedic scholar, a medical doctor, our spiritual mentor, has been guiding us with all his heart, with all his enthusiasm and curiosity to help us to take those little baby steps towards exploring Veda and spirituality in a deeper context. Namaste sir, welcome again to our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I'm very curious to understand a term which has been frequently used in our religion, the term Dharma. Because Dharma, we don't know if it is a term that is used as a religion, or is it a duty, or does it have a deeper meaning? So kindly guide us, sir.
Definitely. Namaste. So first we'll start with what is not dharma.
Okay.
Definitely religion is not dharma.
Okay.
Religion is something, it is a man-made. Then we know there are certain things which we need to follow in a religion. Religion will have a particular, something like a scripture by definition. So there will be a holy scripture which you need to follow, then you are religious. So that is in the framework. Now you see, dharma is not bound by that framework in a large sense.
Okay.
Religion is not dharma, but the essence of the religion is dharma.
Oh, okay.
Now we'll go one step further.
Right.
So there is an essence in that. Per se, the religion it's not equal to dharma.
Okay.
But there is an aspect of dharma embedded in religion, in all the religions.
Oh, it doesn't pertain to just Hinduism.
Nothing at all. It has nothing to do with that. Every religion talks about the same thing. The way we interpret and then we practice, that's what matters. That's a different thing.
Right.
So we're not getting into that mode of it. So it's not equivalent to what we call it as with the religion name as a dharma. It is not at all. That should be very clear.
Okay.
So next we'll come to the another level of dharma to understand. One is from the Vedic point of view, what we call it as a Veda. When we say, just to reiterate, there is the highest level of knowledge.
Okay.
So highest level of knowledge humans have already attained.
Right.
So that perspective will come in the last. So now in between what is not and what is actually, in between there is something. So that we can call it as a dharma, as to do with the Manushya dharma, like what we call it as humanity,
right,
or Prakriti dharma, what the nature has got the inbuilt dharma which it needs to follow.
Okay.
Or that is the way it expresses itself. That is a dharma. So as such, or a dharma of a soldier, what he needs to do, or a teacher.
Correct.
Or anybody, or a housewife. So they need to follow. But is it all the final? No. These are different steps towards the dharma. So when we understand this aspect of it, so as a doctor, I'll have my own dharma.
Correct.
As a lawyer, as a professional, like a vritti dharma. That is one good example. For a lawyer, for example. So if somebody comes and then he says that I'm your client, and then when the lawyer knows this person is guilty, then he's done the crime.
Yeah.
So he knows it. So now his dharma as a human is different, and as a profession is different.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, is it similar to professional ethics? So the term dharma here goes beyond just following that professional ethics here.
Yes. The ethics is, there are different terms,
Okay,
like morals, morality, ethics, and then dharma. These are different nomenclature. We just name some of them.
right.
Even to differentiate the morality. Morality is what the society expects.
Yeah.
And then the set of rules.
True.
Ethics is what comes from within me.
Mm.
So, and I don't have to have a rule to follow my ethics. So ethically, I need to be right. If I'm ethically right, I don't need any moral science textbook or morality or anything. So in that context, now you say the dharma is the essence of all these things.
Okay.
So now the actual meaning of the word the
Yes.
which dharayati, which upholds,
Wow.
which upholds. What? Then there is dharma. There is a ra and ma.
Okay.
Ra always goes with always we say Rama, Ramayati is the Ananda. Ma is the to know, knowledge, Mati.
Wow.
The one which upholds the Jnana Ananda.
Wow.
So that's where it comes in. So there is a knowledge and then there is an aspect of Ananda. Every knowledge should always come with the Ananda. Ananda is not the happiness what we express outside.
Right.
Or every Ananda we need to experience comes with the Jnana. So that is Dharma. Similarly, we have Karma and then Marma. These are different. If you take that from the root, this we call it as a philology. The root from which the meaning of the word expresses. Unfortunately, today in our education system, we are not touching much on this.
True.
At the maximum, we are looking at the pronunciation, Ucharana.
Yeah.
But why this particular thing is called with particular name? That is missing.
True.
There is in the Montessori system of education, there is an aspect coming up.
Yeah.
It's getting more popular, but not to that extent. There is more related, I would say, from the point of Vaikari aspect of the language, on the para, pashyanti, madhyama, Vaikari, where the sound comes in, the Vaikari, the expression point of view. So this dharma, coming back to the dharma, the which upholds. Now, any activity I do, there is a dharma behind it.
Okay.
So these are the things we know, but somehow we put it under the carpet.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't know. So the reason most of us we try to avoid these things is, if I know that, then I like to follow.
Correct.
Okay, so that aspect of a second aspect is where there is a dharma, what we call it as what is you are supposed to do. That is your dharma. What is prakriti dharma? Prakriti dharma is taking care of everything in the universe.
Okay.
That we call it as a prakriti.
Right.
Prakriti as a nature or as a swabhava. And every swabhava, like now you go, there are aspects of prakriti is the nature. I'm going to the Vedic point of view. Prakriti as a nature, the external nature, what we say. The same prakriti within me. I also have the prakriti that we call it as swabhava, my nature. So English is way more easier here. The nature outside, the nature. So by nature, I'll follow some dharma.
True.
So in that context, we have the Chaturvarna, like a Brahmana, Kshatriya, and then Vaishya, Shudra, which is from the aspect of how we, from the nature, the dharma actually expresses itself.
Correct.
This is from the most expression point of. So now if that is clear, then we can go to from the Vedic point of view, what exactly the dharma means.
Sir, as you said, the Vedic context of it. So I was just thinking the term dharma has been evolving since the time it's been used in Vedic times or Upanishads or even in Bhagavad Gita. So is it that the term has been evolving as such in its meaning, or is the interpretation being upgraded, or are we trying to dilute it? What is your take on this?
See, the word remains the same. I'll give one example of from the Vedic. Now we'll get into the Vedic point of view. During the Vedic period, the text, what we call text, or the Shruti or the mantra, it remains same whether you are a beginner, or you are a graduate, or a scholar, or you are the Brahmagyani. There is no change in the text. Unlike today, kindergarten will have textbook, and then primary school will have some amount of it knowledge, and then high school you go, then graduation, then you do PhD. So we are diluting at this level itself. So there are different reasons for it. From the Vedic period, during that period, the text has been the same. If you say Agni Mile Purohitam, for even a beginner, it is the same. Or Tatsavitra Varenyam, it remains the same. But when you begin what it is Agni, and then when you actually get a sense of Agni, what happens, and then what is the experience you get.
Right.
And then when you collaborate Agni with Vayu, Indra, what happens? And then the Agni becomes taking the higher level.
Yes.
The text remaining being same, depending on my capacity, how do I assimilate that? Higher consciousness actually takes. So similarly, dharma also, for a young child, we'll say, what is your dharma as a vidyarthi? Say, student, what is your dharma? Gaining knowledge.
Correct.
That's all you have to do. Karma is an action or it is a duty. Dharma is the base on which you have to do. So this Krishna has very clearly established what is Dharma. The entire life of Sri Krishna in Dwapara Yuga was meant for establishing the Dharma. So even the famous the shloka yada yada hi dharmasya glanati, whenever there is a decline of this Dharma, what he means by Dharma is the essence based on which the universe is running. The entire creation, the universe is actually, there is a particular pattern in which the universe, in a particular pattern, we call it as a cosmos.
Right.
So this cosmic, the entire setup, what it is, it has got a Dharma, which is upheld by the Supreme Being, which we call it as a reference as a Supreme Being. Rest are all the nature or its expression. Now this Dharma is the Supreme Being, which he said that this is to be done.
Right.
Now all our efforts, whoever into that spiritual path, if we call it as a spiritual path, will essentially have to go in that path of the Dharma. This has got nothing to do with the, now we'll see what not. It nothing to do with the religion. Straight away take out.
Okay.
Vedika Dharma. What we call Vedika is something related to Veda. Veda as a knowledge. It's experiential. Now that becomes a Vedika Dharma.
Right.
Nothing to do with a sect or anything.
Right.
Now that is not a religion at all. It is so easy to understand. So the Dharma which upholds the entire creation and the universe, how it can be held by a religion? Impossible. Now in the expression part, if you see how an individual or in a profession, can you put it in a framework? No. Again, there will be conflict. Again, humanity against professional ethics. And then cross-border.
Yeah.
If you are a soldier, should I safeguard my people? Can I kill others? So now these are the ones man-made for certain reason. There is definitely a reason for it. There is not a nonsense that's happening outside. So this is a limited Dharma what we need to follow. And especially that should not be adharma. Should not follow adharma. That is for sure.
Yeah.
That should be very clear.
Actually, it makes it easy to understand in this way.
Yes. So don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do wrong things. When you do right things, when you keep on doing the right thing, then you will know and you will get a conflict. Professional ethics against humanity. So now, then you will get into that Vedika Dharma. What it says. Anything that helps in the further evolution.
Right.
Or in the right path of this universe and the cosmos, taking it to the higher level of consciousness in the evolution, that needs to be supported. That's where we understand very well with the Krishna's role, supporting the Pandavas, not the Kauravas. Even though they both were the cousins and the family, it is not because his likeness towards Arjuna or Yudhishthira, or there was no hatred towards Kauravas.
Correct.
It's because they were standing for the Dharma.
Yes.
And then Duryodhana was representing a Dharma. Whenever there is, the divinity always stands with Dharma.
Yeah.
Because that's how ultimately everybody dies.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not that. Yeah. So the whole idea of the entire Kurukshetra was to take out the obstructions towards the further growth of this evolution. Now he wipes off everything and then we enter into the next phase, including himself.
Oh.
He becomes irrelevant in that form for the next yuga.
Wow.
So that he completes his Dharma and upholds that and he goes on. That's how the Sanatana Dharma. Now you see that is a Sanatana, that's eternal Dharma. This is a one Vedika Dharma, we call it as Sanatana. And it is Nitya Nutana, it is applicable always beyond time and space.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that there is Swadharma, the terms that we use very similar to the term Dharma. So there is Sanatana Dharma. So as you said, there is Dharma for the nature, there is Dharma for everything that we do. Dharma holds to be the same for all religion. So once we understand Dharma in this context, then I think integrating ourselves with Sanatana Dharma or getting aligned with this Swadharma becomes easier. What do you say?
Definitely. So we see the things are self-explanatory. Swadharma is, one is my own Dharma. Then you will get into who is this Swa, the self. Swa, as the letter or the word itself reflects, Swa is my Dharma,
right,
myself.
Okay.
So first, by nature, immediately what is my reaction I came out, that comes out of me. That's a Swadharma. Then you will see, was it actually myself or it is just an influence from outside?
Okay.
So that we call it as what it is, Swabhava and Prabhava. It's very easy to understand. Prabhava is something influencing from outside.
Okay.
Swabhava is the bhava which I am expressing outside. Most of the time we confuse with this Prabhava as a Swabhava. Even for a child, the Prabhava is the family, the genetic material, or some things, or the people around society. That's the Prabhava. From that context, Swabhava is understanding myself. When you understand the self, then Swadharma comes, and then this Swadharma is always linked to Sanatana Dharma. It's eternal and it is applicable across the time and space, and it is relevant always at all levels of consciousness.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Doctor. In this world, there's so much of conflict and confusion in understanding Dharma. You've taught us that Dharma can be a guiding light, irrespective of which religion or what practice we follow. Thank you so much. And viewers, if you have any further doubts in this concept, do not hesitate to comment below. We'll be more than happy to guide you. Next episode, we'll meet you again with deeper insights and understanding on Vedic philosophy. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, do not forget to share this with your friends. Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor. I'll see you again. Namaste.